Because of their unique styling, beautiful artwork, and the fact that they produced a reversible lock stitch decades before anyone else, many collectors consider these Florences to be nothing less than sewing machine royalty. As if that wasn't enough, they were also the first machine capable of a decorative stitch, the double lock stitch. Florence sewing machines were manufactured from 1860 to the late 1870s, at which point the Florence Company retooled to make the crown sewing machine. Altogether, over 170,000 Florences were made. Based on the serial number, this machine dates to 1869. Because this machine came to us without a treadle base, it had to be modified for hand use by installing a crank handle, a support for the thread spool, and a jig to hold the bobbin winder. All of these additions are easily reversed and in no way modified the original machine. To thread, bring the thread from the spool down through this little hole guide, one turn around the tension wheel, pass it through this slot on the main drive wheel. This acts like the take-up arm on most machines, and then down and hooked into this thread guide towards the bottom half of the machine. Bring the thread up from the hook guide through this guide, this one, and down to the needle, threading it from right to left. Place the bobbin in the bobbin winder with the long end of the shaft pointing towards the drive wheels. Guide the thread with your hand and crank away. Place the bobbin in the shuttle with the long end of the shaft towards the rear. Feed the thread out through a hole in the side of the shuttle located right here. Close the hold down flap and then feed the thread back through the hole so that it goes on top of the hold down flap. Pull the thread through, pass it through the hole at the end of the hold down flap, and then through this hole in the side of the shuttle. Slip the shuttle into the carriage with the point of the shuttle facing the rear of the machine. Bring the bottom thread up in the usual way, and you're just about ready to sew. This knob sets the stitch length and also enables reverse stitching. This lower screw serves two purposes. It can be tightened to lock the stitch length and also acts as an end stop to prevent this knob from being turned too far. With the stitch regulator turned all the way to the right, the machine stitches right to left at 10 stitches per inch. Rotate it all the way back, and turning the knob in the same direction, it now reverse stitches. This must have been a miracle in the 1860s when no other machine did this. Those normal lock stitches were made with this lever in the forward position. If we move it to the rear, it blocks the dog feed every other stitch, so the machine makes an extra overlapping stitch at the end of each full stitch. This shows up as a tiny knot at the end of each stitch. As a decorative stitch, the effect may be subtle, but it's still more than half a century ahead of any other machine. And that's our 1869 Florence sewing machine. If you're lucky enough to have one of these gems and have any questions about it, please ask below in the comments. It would be great to hear from you. Our next restoration is a 1922 Model B Ideal sewing machine. I've already started working on it and plan to have a video posted on it in just a few weeks. I hope you'll come back and see how it turns out. Until then, thanks for watching.